We are live.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining in. Just give us a couple of minutes till we get our members to our live program. Welcome all of you. Kindly, we want to request you all, ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ videos off කරගෙන mic එක mute කරගන්න. Who is joining in right now, just mute your mics and off the video. We'll be starting at 4 o'clock. Give us 3 more minutes. We have 3 more minutes.
එතකොට මගේ සද්දෙත් ඇහෙනවනේ.
Mohammed Nazir, if you can unmute your mic. We are about to start the program. Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stock market education program that we are doing on the technical analysis. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මම සාදරයෙන් පිළිගන්නවා අද ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකට ජොයින් වෙන කට්ටිය. So the Zoom එකෙන් කීප දෙනෙක් join වෙනවා. From Zoom there are a couple of people joining in. Welcome you all. And also this is going live on MasterMind YouTube channel. So welcome you all to the live program. So there was several requests that came in for us to do about a program on technical analysis, right? And the index now has reached 6,000. So everybody is wondering what's going to happen about the market. So on our request, we have a special guest today. We have a very special guest today, Saliya Gamagedera. He has experienced more than 30, I think close to 30 years and above, very experienced person, and he has very vast knowledge about technical analysis. So from our invitation, we have a special guest today, Saliya Gamagedera, who will be running you through on the technical analysis part. So before that, this program will be done with a mix, Sinhala and English both, because there are viewers from who wants both languages. ඔගොල්ලන්ගේ ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අපි මේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකේ අන්තිමට විනාඩි 15ක කාලයක් වගේ වෙන් කරලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට මේ ප්‍රශ්න ටික ඔයගොල්ලන්ට අහන්න පුළුවන්. Mainly ඔයගොල්ලන් join වෙනකොට Zoom එකෙන් join වෙනවා නම් mute කරලා තියාගන්න. මොකද නැත්නම් අනිත් කට්ටියට disturb වෙන හින්දා. So welcome you all for the program. So the index reached 6,000, right? So the main question that everybody is asking is what's next? So we are going to hand over to Saliya, our expert, to speak about the technical analysis. What is technical analysis, and 6,000 above, what is your view on the technical analysis? Over to you, Saliya.
Right, thanks a lot, Roshan. Indeed a pleasure to come and participate in this Zoom session. First, let me start with technical analysis. If we give the pure definition of technical analysis, it's known as a discipline that's employed to evaluate investments and identify trading opportunities, that is by analyzing statistical trends gathered from trading activity such as price movement and volume, right? So that's kind of a a complicated type of a definition when we are talking about I would say at the start, even when we started learning about technical analysis, and when we looked at the definition, it was complicated. But then if you take it simply, this is not rocket science, right? This is not rocket science. What we do is genuinely is this. You see, when you're buying shares, right, what do? You pay a price, right? If I take you or walk you through the practicality of it, the reality of it, what we do is, after we open the account and we decide to purchase shares, we physically deposit money, right? And that is our precious money, hard-earned money that we are depositing. Thereafter, we place an order and buy a particular stock, and we invest into that, the genuine legitimate money, right? And how do we do that? We place a price for that, right? Let's say Sampath Bank, we will be buying at 125 rupees 100 shares, or maybe 10,000 shares, or maybe 100,000 shares. Okay, so what it means is that we are genuinely putting physical money, legitimate money, and purchasing that share at that price. Once you purchase the share at that price, when you give a price, right, and it is accepted, that is the price that you use to calculate the market capitalization of that company. Basically, if you take the real value of the market value of a company, of a listed company, right, that is the price that they will take. Assume that there are no buyers except your purchase order, which you bought at 125 rupees, right? And that 125 into the number of shares in issue will be the market capitalization. That is going to be the market value of Sampath Bank, right? So it's an important price that we are looking at when we are analyzing prices by way of technical analysis. So we need to understand that whatever the price that we are looking at, right, is legitimate, real, right, prices that have been paid in the market by the buyers, right? So we are analyzing the behavior of those prices alongside the volumes. Now I said Sampath Bank, you can buy 100 shares or from 1 share to millions of shares, right? You can buy 100 shares, 10,000 shares or 100,000 shares or millions of shares, okay? So there is a significance when we are buying volume, right? Initially, when we are starting to activate ourselves, right, we will not be buying 100,000 shares. We will be buying maybe 100 shares, maybe 10 shares, right? We will be starting from the smallest possible, and then with confidence and over time, with a lot of experience in the market, we will be increasing the level of risk that we are taking, right? So we are analyzing all that based on the behavior of the price fluctuations alongside the volume. And that is what this definition is all about, right? The analysis of prices or price behavior alongside the volume behavior is simply put, realistically put, is known as technical analysis, right? So then the next part of your question is about the market. Now we have come to 6,000 points, and what are we going to expect, right? For that, let me share my screen and show you the chart. Now this is the chart that is to do with the all-share index, right? This is the all-share index chart. I am using the investing.com website to use the platform to discuss about the charts. Now, immediately when you see, you can see the present price has gone and reached the top of the present price range, right? You can see on the 2nd of October, the all-share index has reached 6,075, right? When I move the cursor, that is what I normally used to say. When I'm moving the cursor, you can see the 4 values over here changing, right? Open, high, low, close. Now, each and every candle to which I'm pointing the cursor, the values for that specific candle will be shown in the open, high, low, close price bar, right? So in this, 6,075 was first tested on the 2nd of October. Thereafter, we went through what is known as a consolidation, or what is we need to understand this term called pullback. We went through a pullback, right? Why we went through a pullback is because if you look at this chart, right, with minor sideways pullback movements, you can see from the low of the 13th of July, right, we have moved, or the ASI have moved basically on a continuous trend from that date over here up to this 2nd of October, 6,075. That's in 56 market days, right? And with a return of 26%, the index from that low had gone up to test the 6,075, right? So whenever a market is moving, it's not going up or coming down on a straight line. It's not going to happen like that. The market is not going to go up in a straight line like this, or it's not coming down in a straight line like this. We have to, that is the reality, right? So if somebody is wanting to basically what we look at in the charts are how these fluctuations are taking place. So once this pullback took place, right, we can see from the low of the 6th of October, we went and reached a high of 5,987. That's like 13 points away from 6,000 points. Now, that again is something that is frequently happening in a market, in a trend, right? It won't go after we test a high, a new high. It is not going immediately, you know, after that pullback, it's not going to stretch immediately to that 6,075 level, right? It moves in waves, right? It moves in up and down movements, right? එක දිගට 6,075 points test කෙරුවට පස්සේ මේ pullback එකක් ආවයින් පස්සේ ආයම ඒක reverse කියන්නේ bullish reversal එකක් පටන් ගත්තොත් නැත්නම් ඒ trend reversal එක පටන් ගන්නකොට කෙලින්ම තනීරකින් නැවත වාරයකින් අර 6075 ටෙස්ට් කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක එහෙම වෙන්නේ නැහැ. හරි. එම නිසා අපි දකිනවා ආමසරයක් this is coming down, right? When from after reaching 5,987 on the 19th of October, it again came down to retest this low, right? But what happened? It didn't come down to that level. It once again reversed above that, right? That is a thing called a higher low formation. When the market is going up, right, we have to understand that the lows, right, are always increasing. That is known as higher lows, right? When the prices are going up, first the lows are increasing, then comes the highs. Highs will be following to move higher, right? So you have a formation of higher lows and higher highs, HL and HH formation, HL and HH formation. Thereafter, here we can see that there is a higher low formation, right? At this point, if you take this chart over here, right, you can see now this low is lower than this low. Therefore, this low is high, right? And it's coming from this, you know, after reaching a high at this point. But you can see this high is lower than this high. So you have a situation where the highs are low and the lows are high. In other words, it's known as LH, lower highs, and HL, higher lows, right? Then what happened was the market turned. When the market turns like that, right, we have our tools which will help us to understand whether now that pullback is over and it has successfully or strongly reversed to follow the present trend, which is the uptrend, right? So higher low formation took place, confirming the uptrend. Then comes the higher high, higher high. So you can see again here, this high is lower than this high. So this is a higher high formation, right? So here you have a higher low formation. Then now you have a higher high formation, right? Then the next thing is, still we are almost at the 6,075 area. You see, so now we have another rule, a guideline that we follow in technical analysis to see whether that candle of that period, if you are looking at a daily chart, that is the period of every day, right? So in that everyday period, it has to close above the previous high, which happened. So that is a bullish signal. It's a positive close, right? And then at the same, again, we look at the volumes. In the case of the ROSHAN index, sometimes we might argue that the volumes that are shown here aren't the accurate volumes. That's okay, as long as we see a trend and a pattern, right, forming in the volumes. That is what we take, right? In we compare the volume behavior as against the average volume behavior. If the average volume or rather the actual volumes are higher than the average volume, that's also a positive signal. So both formations took place on Friday, right? The volumes given here is can be seen as higher than the average. At the same time, the index also closed above the previous high of 6075 and closing at 6080, right? Now, in the case of analysis or looking at the future, right, there are many ways. One of the simplest way of looking at is to look at the past high levels, right? Meaning now we are at a certain level. We will be looking backwards and see whether there are highs higher than the present, the highs that we are seeing here, that 6080, whether there in the past, whether there had been, areas which were higher than 6080. So we go back, we can minimize this like so, and we look at that area. You can see over here. Let's highlight that area. Okay. Now from this high up to this high is what we are talking about, right? This is not long ago. This was last year, right? This is in November, December period. And it went to a peak of 6,239. And based on the present 6,080, right? Here on the 6th of January, we can see that it had traded between 6,100 and 6,066, right? So 6,066 is lower than the present high, but 6,100 is higher than the present high. So this zone is what the index is going to move into now, right? This is the area where this is just basic analysis, right? There are many complicated ways of looking at all these things. And what I do is, first I evaluate the basics. I go by the basics. First first I will be putting that basic, then a little bit more complicated stuff like the trend lines. Then I move into wave counting. Then I will be moving into, when we are counting the waves, we are using Fibonacci numbers, right? I'll be using the Fibonacci numbers, and based on different waves, we know there are rules and guidelines. These are not what I have done. You can go to the internet. Every one of us have the freedom to go to the internet and educate ourselves and put that education into practice. That is what I am doing. I educate myself, put it to practice, and when our expectations are realizing, my confidence level increases. Then I keep on, practicing and increase my knowledge and put that knowledge into practice and increase my confidence, which is known as KPEC, KPEC. For me to understand, I take it as one word, which is KPEC, KPEC. K stands for knowledge, P stands for practice, E stands for experience, C stands for confidence. You see, you have now today also you are participating, listening to me, and you might be listening to other experts. Many you must be following many technical analysts, right? You might be arguing with them. Sometimes there are people who are arguing with me. That's okay. Then you will be using the internet. looking at many sites, self-educating yourself. That's a fantastic thing, but you must understand that you have to put that into practice. Without putting that into practice, you will not experience. The experience is what you will give you the successes and failures. Then you will, look at the successes and try to excel on them, and look at the failures, learn from those failures, and contribute to increase that success. That in turn is going to increase your confidence. So basically, from so many, if you look at all these trend lines or Fibonacci numbers, wave counting, all that stuff, right, comes to I would say a conclusion that this area that I have caged here or drawn this zone is where the index is going to go up to, right? That is where the index is going to go up to. But in technical analysis, we believe one thing, pre-testing, right? When we break a high, right, the index moves above that, then comes back again to retest that area, right? At the moment, there are two psychological resistance for me. Psychological resistance areas. First area is 6,100. Psychologically 6,000, after 6,000, 6,100. Then another psychological resistance is 6,150. These are easy numbers for us to understand, right? These are not odd characters, odd figures. So 6,100, 6,150, that's something like how much? 80 points to 90 points from the present, right? Or to maybe 100 points. On Monday, that is tomorrow, there can be an effort put in to hit 100 points up, right? From 1 point to 100%, 100 points, right? From 1 point to 100 points, there will be, because there are so many positive things that has happened, especially in terms of quarterly statements, right? There's a lot of positivity here, a lot of enthusiasm. Therefore, this 100 points can be a range that the price is going to behave tomorrow within a 100-point range. But that does not necessarily mean that it is going to, in no uncertain terms, is going to close at 100 points. It's not going to happen like that, right? We technicians are the only ones who believe, when it comes to stock market activity, technical analysts, the traders who are using technical analysis, remember this, write it down if you all want. The traders who are following technical analysis only believe that life is not certain. They believe that only death and taxes are certain. Life is not sure. Life is not sure for traders respecting and believing technical analysis. They are the only guys, right? People who are trading on stories, news, rumors, tips, they don't believe in that uncertainty. They don't believe. That's why they don't want to stop loss. They don't believe that there will be retesting, right? They don't believe that. They don't want to even think of it, right? Then fundamental analysts and people who are trading by using fundamentals, they don't want to believe that when you see Hekab is showing you EPs of 57 rupees, massive amount, right? Stock is still trading at 500. Still, just by calculating the price by that 57 rupees, still the PE is below 10 times, right? They don't want to believe that there can be price pullbacks, pre-testing. They don't want to believe that. But only technical analysts who believe in their technical analysis, right? Majoritically, I'm talking in a general term, right? The majority of those technical analysts who believes the technical analysis is working, right? Their trade ideas are working. Their trade setups are working. They are the only ones who believe in stop loss, right? The reason why we believe in stop loss is because the prices can go against you. And we know where it can come down to. And either we are prepared to take the loss, or otherwise we will be holding and accumulating more at those, when the pullbacks are taking place. So basically, if you're talking of technical analysis, and if you want to know what is going to happen tomorrow, yes, you can see a fluctuation between 1 point to 100 points, that area, right? But tomorrow or day after, you might see a retesting. When you're talking of a retesting, let's say if it has gone and closed above 6,100, that's good, right? Tomorrow, let's say at 2:30, after 2:30 on the weighted average figure, let's say it's 6,100 and above, right? Then Tuesday, we will see another rally to take it up further. There can be a failure, retesting can happen, right? So if by any chance the index is going to close on closing basis tomorrow, if it is going to close below above 6,100, we will see a trend extension on Tuesday, right? That will happen. But then Tuesday, Wednesday, retesting will take place to test 6,100 at least. If we are going to close below 6,200, then we will be seeing a retesting between a low of 6,100 and the present high of 6,080, right? So that is the kind of fluctuations that we are going to expect, and all that is within this zone that I have highlighted here. So this is basic analysis, and that's kind of wrap up the answer for your second part.
Sorry, thank you. It was very interesting. While you were doing the program, I'm getting a lot of comments. So I think whether you see there is some questions that are being put on here. If you like to take one question,
Right.
just to see, I think Priya is asking, and also sorry, there's a small request that there was a few messages came to briefly explain that in Sinhala, if you can. Very short.
Fine, right. Hari. Mama, දැන් අපි ටෙක්නිකල් ඇනලිසිස් වලට කතා කරන්නේ තාක්ෂණික විශ්ලේෂණය කියලානේ. හරිද? මම අවංකව අපි අපේ මම මේ කියන්නේ ඉන්දියාවේ අපි බැලුවොත් ඉන්දියාවේදී ගොඩාරියක් වෙලාවට ඒගොල්ලෝ හින්දි කතා කරන්නේ නැත්නම් දෙමළ භාෂාව හසුරුවන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂාවත් එක්ක. සමහර වෙලාවට ඒගොල්ලන් ඇත්තටම ෆ්ලුවන්ට් නෑ. ඒ වුණාට ඉංග්‍රීසි වචන පාවිච්චි කරනවා. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ මම දකින දෙයක් තමයි අපි මේ කොටස් වෙළඳ පොලේදී අපි මේ ට්‍රේඩ් කෙරුවත් නැත්නම් ඉන්වෙස්ට් කෙරුවත් අපි ඒ નિરાයාසයෙන්ම අපි ඒ වචන පාවිච්චි කරනවා. ඉතින් අපි සිංහලත් ඉංග්‍රීසිත් කියන ඒ භාෂාවල් දෙකම පාවිච්චි කරලා තමයි අපි කියන්නේ අපි නිකන් යාළුවොත් එක්ක හරි තව බ්‍රෝකර් කෙනෙක් එක්ක හරි කතා කරනකොට අපි මේ එක කතා කරන්නේ. හැබැයි සමහර වෙලාවට අපි දකින්න දෙයක් තමයි මේ වගේ ලෙක්චර්ස් වලට ආපුවාම අපිට මේ කියන දෙයක් තමයි සිංහලෙන්ම කතා කරන්න කියලා. ඒක මම දකින්න හැටියට ප්‍රායෝගික දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. මොකද මේ වචන pull back නැත්නම් correction නැත්නම් trend reversals, trend continuations ඒ කියන වචන අපි ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන්ම තේරුම් ගත්තාම අපිට ලේසි වෙන්න යනවා අපේ ඉගෙනීම සඳහා. මොකද අපි ඉගෙන ගන්නකොට අපි ගොඩක් දුරට අපිට පාවිච්චි කරන්න වෙනවා ඉන්ටර්නෙට් එක. එතනදී මේ වචන පාවිච්චි කරනවා ටෙක්නිකල් ඇනලිසිස් සම්බන්ධව. ඒතකොට අපි මේ ටෙක්නිකල් ඇනලිසිස් කියන එක හරියට විග්‍රහ කරනකොට මෙන්න මේ විදිහට තමයි විග්‍රහ කරන්නේ. තාක්ෂණික විශ්ලේෂණය යනු වෙළඳාමේ ක්‍රියාකාරකම් වලින් රැස් කරගන්නා සංඛ්‍යාත්මය ප්‍රවණතාවන මිල චලනය සහ පරිමාව විශ්ලේෂණය කිරීමෙන් ආයෝජන ඇගයීමට සහ වෙළඳ අවස්ථා හඳුනා ගැනීමට යොදා ගන්නා වෙළඳ විනයකි. හරිද? ඒකට තමයි තාක්ෂණික විශ්ලේෂණය කියන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි මෙතනදී අපි කතා කරන්නේ මිල සහ පරිමාව සම්බන්ධව. මිලත් පරිමාවත්. දැන් මම ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් මම විග්‍රහ කරන ඕගොල්ලන්ට තේරෙන්න ඇති. අපි මිලදී ගන්නකොට අපි CDS account එක කරලා online මේ username password ගත්තට පස්සේ අපි බැංකුවට අපි transfer කරනවා මුදල්. ඊට පස්සේ අපි ගොඩක් විශ්ලේෂණය කරලා හරි අපිට සිතුවිලි රටාවක් මේ ප්‍රයෝජනට අරගෙන තමයි අපි කොටසක් මිලදී ගන්නෙ. එතකොට මේ මිලදී ගන්නකොට අපි සම්පත් බැංක 125ට මිලදී ගත්තාම අපි විතරක් නම් මේ සම්පත් බැංක එදා අරගත් 125ට සම්පත් බැංක එකකින් නිකුත් කරලා තියෙන ඔක්කොම කොටස් වල අගය 125න් වැඩි වෙනවා. හරිද? ඒකට තමයි අපි කියනවා අර මාකට් කැපිටලයිසේෂන් කියලා. නැත්තම් ඇත්තටම වෙළඳාම් වටිනාකමක් සම්පත් බැංකුවේ ගැන අපි කතා කරොත් අර 125 වැඩි කිරීම මේ තියෙන කොටස් ප්‍රමාණය තමයි ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ වටිනාකම. එතකොට ඒ වගේ විශාල පතාක මේ බැංකුවකට පවා අපි ගන්න අර එක ෂෙයා එකකින් අපි මිල දෙන නැත්තම් මිලක් නියම කරන අගයක් නියම කරන රුපියල් 125 මේ පාවිච්චි වෙනවා නීත්‍යානුකූලව ඒ බැංකුවේ අගය මේ තීරණය කරන්න. එම නිසා මම මේකින් අදහස් කරන්නේ මේ මිල විශ්ලේෂණය කරන එක හරි පරිමාව විශ්ලේෂණය කරන එක හරි මේ සුළුපටු කාර්යයක් නෙවෙයි. හරිද? මේක පොඩි කතාන්තරයක් නෙවෙයි. මේක ඉතාමත්ම බැරෑරුම් කතාන්තරයක්. මේ ස්ථානයේ මේ හැමදාම මේක ඩේ chart එකක්. මේ හැමදාම මිල මොනවාද උච්චාවචනය වෙන විදිය මේ ස්ථානය පෙන්ලා තියෙනවා. ඒතර අපි දකින දෙයක් තමයි මිල උච්චාවචනය වෙන එක. නැත්තම් උඩ වැඩි යන එක එක ක්‍රමවල් වලට තමයි යන්නේ. හරි පැටර්න්ස් වලට යනවා. ඉතින් ඒ ක්‍රමවේදයන් අපි තේරුම් අරගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ. ඒවත් ඒ ක්‍රමවේදයන් අපි අධ්‍යයනය කරනවා නම් අපිට ඉතාමත්ම ලේසි මේ තාක්ෂණ මේ මොනවාද අපේ විකිණීම් වලට ගැනුම් වලට නැත්තම් බලාගෙන සිටීමට ඉවසිල්ලෙන් බලාගෙන සිටීමට ඒ දැනුම අපිට පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් අපි දකිනවා මේ මොනවාද මේ ප්‍රවණතාවය නැත්තම් මේ මිල උච්චාවචනය වෙලා තියෙන ආකාරය දිහා බලනකොට අපි දකිනවා මේ මිල වැඩි වෙලා තියෙනවා. මේ පොඩි ගණනක ඉඳලා උඩට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා. හරි. හැබැයි මම මේ ඊතාලියේ මෙහෙම තනි ඉරකින් ඇඳට හරි දැන් මෙතෙන් වෙනකල් මේ ඉන්ඩෙක්ස් එක නැගලා තියෙන්නේ. මිල වැඩි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. හරි. එතකොට මේකේ තනි ඉරකින් නෙවෙයිනේ ගිහිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ උගල අහලා තියෙනවා කවමදාකවත් මිලක් මේ ඉහළ යනකොට තනි ඉරකින් ඉහළ යන්නේත් නැහැ. පහළ බහිනකොට තනි ඉරකින් පහළ බහින්නෙත් නැහැ. ඔයගලන්ට පේනවා මෙතන උනත් තනි ඉරකින් නෙවෙයි පහළ වැටිලා තියෙන්නේ. හරිද? එම නිසා අපි මේක අධ්‍යයනය කරපුවාම මේ උච්චාවචනය වලදී අපිට තීරණ ගන්න පුළුවන් ගැනීම සහ විකිණීම සම්බන්ධව. හරි? අපිට අපේ අධ්‍යයනය තුලදී අපිට හිතෙනවා නම් මේ දැන් මේ වෙලාවේ මම විකුණන්න ඕන මොකද මේ මාකට් එක වැටෙනවා කියලා. ඒ අධ්‍යයනයට අවශ්‍ය කරන නීති රාමුව තුල අපි ඒක කරනවා නම් අපිට ඒ විශ්වාසය අපේ තියෙන නැත්තම් කොන්ෆිඩන්ස් එක වැඩි නිසා අපිට පුළුවන් වෙනවා ඒ දේ කරන්න. දැන් අපි ගොඩාරියක් අයට තියෙන අවස්ථාවක් තමයි ඉන්ටර්නෙට් එක තියෙන නිසා ගොඩාරියක් දැනුම වැඩි වෙලා තියෙනවා. මම අහලා තියෙන කතාන්තරයක් මම ප්‍රායෝගිකව අත්දැකලා තියෙන කතාන්තරයක් තමයි දැනුම වැඩිම පරම්පරාව අපි. හරි? මම නම් වයසයි 50 පැනපු මිනිස්සෙක්. ඒ වුණත් අපිටත් තවම අවස්ථාවක් තියෙනවා මීටත් වඩා තරුණ අයට අවස්ථාවක් තියෙනවා දැනුම වැඩි කරගන්න. හරි? අපේ තරුණ කාලෙදි මෙච්චර දැනුමක් අපිට ආවේ නැහැ. මට මතක හැටියට 1994 95 වගේ කාලේ තමයි ඉන්ටර්නෙට් එක ලංකාවට ඇවිල්ලා ටිකක් මේ නිතරම වගේ පාවිච්චි වෙන්න පටන් ගත්තේ. අද එහෙම නෙවෙයි. ඒක එහෙම කියනකොට වුණත් මේ 94 ඉපදිච්ච අයට මේක මැජික් එකක් වෙන්නේ. එම නිසා අපි තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ අපිට දැනුමක් ලැබෙනකොට ඒ දැනුම ප්‍රයෝජනෙට ගන්න ඕනේ. ඒක 110ක් දැනුමක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ 110 අපි ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට තමයි අපි දන්නේ මේක හරිද වැරදිද කියලා. හරි දේ අපි දියුණු කරගන්නවා, වැරදි දේ අවම කරගෙන ඒක නැති කරගන්නවා. හරි. එතකොට දැන් මෙතනදී මම කතා කරුවේ බේසික් නැත්තම් සාමාන්‍ය වශයෙන් අපිට අනුමාන කරන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් තමයි දැන් තියෙන මේ 6080 කියන අගය සිකුරාදා ක්ලෝසින් ප්‍රයිස් එක 6080යි 6080 තියෙන මේ අගය හෙට ඉඳලා මොනවද වෙන්නේ හෙට ඉඳලා වෙනවා නම් අපි බලන්න ඕනේ පිටිපස්සේදී මේ 6080ට වඩා වැඩියෙන් ට්‍රේඩ් වෙලා තියෙන කාලයක් මොනවද ඒ කාලේ ඒ වගේ මේ කාලෙදී තිබ්බ අගය ඒක තමයි මම පෙන්නුවේ මෙන්න මේ අගයවල් දෙක මෙතන ඉඳලා මෙතෙන්ද ඒ අගය අපි මෙහෙම කොටු සටහනකින් මෙහෙම ඇඳගත්තාම අපිට පේනවා මෙතන තියෙන්නේ 6200 ගණන 6239යි right ඉන් පස්සේ මේ 6080 තොර මේ 6080 සිට 6239 කියන මේ තැනට අගයට මේක යන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ ඉන්ඩෙක්ස් එක යන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ආයම සරයක් මම කියනවා මේක මේ තනියරකින් යන්නේ නැහැ. හරිද? හෙට සමහර වෙලාවට මේ වගේ දෙයක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හෙට මෙතන ඉඳලා තව පොයින්ට් 100ක් නගින්න පුළුවන්. මේ හරියට යන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ 6190ක්. පොයින්ට් 100ක් කියන මෙන්න මේ අගය හරිද? මෙන්න මේ ප්‍රමාණයේ උච්චාවචනයක් අපිට දකින්න පුළුවන් වෙයි. හෙට වෙනකොට. කියන්නේ මේ වගේ මෙන්න මේ වගේ අගයක උච්චාවචනයක් වෙනවා අපිට දැක ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි. ඒකෙන් අදහස් කරන්නේ නැහැ මේක රුපියල් මේ පොයින්ට් 100ක් නැගලම මේ ක්ලෝස් වෙනවා කියන එක නෙමෙයි මගේ අදහස. හරි? මෙතන අපිට දකින්න පුළුවන් මේක දැන් මම මේ මොනවාද රතු පාටින් දාපුවම ඒකත් පොඩ්ඩක් තේරුම් ගන්න අමාරු වෙයි. අපි කොළ පාටින් මේක දාමුකෝ. මොකද දැන් තියෙන්නේ කොළ පාටනේ. මේක මෙහෙම දැම්මොත් මෙන්න මේ වගේ අගයක් නැත්තම් මේ වගේ පරතරයක් තුල තමයි හෙට කොටස් වෙළඳ පොළ නැත්තම් ඉන්ඩෙක්ස් එක බිහේව් වෙන්න යන්නේ. මීට වඩා වැඩි අගයක් ගත්තොත් හොඳයි. ඒක නෑ කියන්න බෑ. හැබැයි අපි ටෙක්නිකල් ඇනලිසිස් පාවිච්චි කරන අය හැටියට අපි පුරුදු වෙන්න තේරෙන දෙයක් තමයි අර රීටෙස්ට් කියන එකක් වෙනවා. නැත්තම් නැවත වාරයක් මිල ඒ අගය පසාරු කරගෙන ඉස්සරහට ගියයින් පස්සේ නැවත වාරයක් අපි අර ඉස්සෙල්ලා තිබ්බ අගයට පැමිණෙනවා. පැමිණිලා ඉන් පස්සේ නැවත වාරයක් මේ ඒ ස්ථානයේ තියෙන ඉහළ මිල දැන් උදාහරණයක් වශයෙන් මෙතන නම් ඒ ඉහළ මිල තියෙන්නේ මේක නැවත වාරයක් මේම පහතට වැටිලා මේ ලෙවල් එක ටෙස්ට් කරලා ඉන් පස්සේ අපිට දකින්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා මේක ඒ කියන්නේ මෙහෙම ඇවිල්ලා ඉන් පස්සේ අපිට දකින්න පුළුවන් වෙයි මෙතන ඉඳලා මෙතන ටෙස්ට් කරනවා right ඉන් පස්සේ මෙහෙම යන්න පුළුවන් දැන් ඒකට මේ වගේ දවස් දෙක තුනකින් නෙවෙයි සමහර වෙලාවල් තියෙයි ඊට වඩා වැඩි වෙනවා දැන් ඒකට හොඳම උදාහරණයක් මෙතන තියෙනවා ඔයාලට ඕගොල්ලන්ට පේනවා ඇති මේ මෙතන මේ හයි එක 6045 right ඊට ඉස්සෙල්ලා හයි එක මේ මෙතන තියෙනවා ඒත් 6047 right එතකොට මෙතන බලන්න මෙතන ගියායින් පස්සේ රීටෙස්ට් වුණා හැබැයි රීටෙස්ට් වෙලා උඩට යනකොට මොකද උනේ මේ ගණනට ගියේ නැහැ නේද ඉන් පස්සේ ආයම prices පහළට වැටෙන්න අගයන් පහළට වැටෙන්න පටන් ගත්තා මේක පහළට වැටෙනකොට මොකද උනේ මේ ලෝ එක protect උන්නේ නැහැ. මෙතනදී protect වුණා. මෙතනදී protect වෙලා මෙතෙන්ද ගියා. හැබැයි ඉන් පස්සේ මොකද උනේ? මේක පසාරු කරගෙන පහතට වැටුණා. මේවට අපි කියනවා breakouts කියලා. Right? Breakouts below the low price and breakout above the high price. ඒ වගේ ප්‍රවණතාවයල් එන්න පුළුවන්. මම දැන් මෙතනදී මේ දේ 6075 වලින් උඩ ගැන මම කතා කරන්නේ. දැන් මෙතනදී ඕගොල්ලන්ට පේනවා මේක උඩට ගිහිල්ලා ඉන්පස්සේ ඊට පස්සේ ඇවිල්ලා නැවත වාරයක් ඊට වඩා අඩු ගණන් වලට වැටුණා. හරි? දැන් මෙතනදී ඊටත් වඩා අඩු ගණන් වලට වැටිලා තමයි දැන් මේ රීටෙස්ටිං එක වෙලා තමයි ওই උඩට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් එම්ම නිසා අපි තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ prices යනවා මම කිව්වා වගේ තාක්ෂණික විශ්ලේෂණය අනුගමන කරන අය තමයි මුළු ලෝකෙම ලංකාව විතරක් නෙවෙයි මුළු ලෝකෙම හරි ජීවිතය අනියතයි මරණය නියතයි ඒ වගේම බදු නියතයි කියලා විශ්වාස කරන්නේ සින්දුවක් නම් තියෙනවා ජීවිතය අනියතයි මරණය නියතයි කියලා ඒ සින්දුවවත් අපි එච්චර විශ්වාස කරන්නේ නැහැ කොටස් වෙළඳ පොලේදී හරි ඒ වුණාට අපි ට්‍රේඩර්ස්ලා හැටියට ටෙක්නිකල්ස් පාවිච්චි කරන අය ඒගොල්ලන්ට පුරුද්දක් තියෙනවා ඒගොල්ලන් කමිට් වෙලා තියෙනවා ස්ටොප් ලොස් එක මොකද අපේ ප්ලෑන් එක අපේ ට්‍රේඩ් අයිඩියා එක හරියන්නේ නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන් එම නිසා ස්ටොප් ලොස් එක පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුරුදු වෙලා තියෙනවා
Yes, Ali, thank you very much. It was very interesting. Ali, there was this is coming through several platforms. Like YouTube, MasterMind YouTube channel, like through questions or so we will take a few questions, Ali.
Right.
Can you please explain how can we set up a stop loss level? Is it from individual's capacity level or can we technically analyze that?
Yeah, we can it's nothing to do with individual capacities or I would say their parameters. It's all to do with technical analysis, right? You need to understand the simplest way of looking at a stop loss is to understand the support areas, right? When you break out above a resistance, that resistance becomes a support. That's why here I was talking about when it is retesting, it will retest the 6075, right? So after breaking out of 6075, what happens is the next support level is this resistance. Earlier it was a resistance, now it's a support that is at 5987. So I mean quickly, if I give the example, let's say you buy here, right? If you buy here, your stop loss areas will be either this 6075 or this 5987. Now what happens is that if you're talking of this 6075 as a stop loss, it is a bit narrower compared to the 5987, right? Other thing is, remember why you are doing the range of the stop loss area will be decided purely from the idea as to why you went and bought that stock, right? You have to have a thought process. Hari ගොඩාරියක් plans තියෙන්න ඕනේ ඔයා මේක ගන්න හේතුවකට. හරි මේක හේතු සාධක ගොඩාරියක් ඔයා විශ්ලේෂණය කරන්න ඕනේ මේක ගන්නකොට. දැන් මම කිව්වා ඉස්සෙල්ලා this zone, right? This zone is the basic analysis, right? This is the basic analysis. But if you put those wave analyses, you draw your trend lines, you use the Fibonacci numbers and all that, this is a resistance zone, right? This is a resistance zone. So basic analysis also counts. So first you have to understand the basics, then only little by little you have to move up. So as I said, a basic stop loss is here at 6075 and the next is 5987. Why? Those are the support areas. So stop losses are always placed either along with that support area or below the support area, right? And there are two types of stops that you put. One is called the narrow stop, other is called the wider stop, right? So in order to understand the narrow stop and the wider stop, you need to understand as to why you are moving into that stock as a purchase, right? So you need to look at your target areas, and you need to look at the reason as to why you bought it, right? All that, because end of the day, see, the guys who basically sold, let's say around here, right? They sold. Then it's a right thing to do, because once you sell, let's say at 6,000 and 6,000, let's say here 6,000 rupees. Let's say this is 6,000 rupees. You sell at 6,000 rupees, and you buy at 4,300. So with that 6,000 rupees, you can buy at least 1.5 times of stocks at when it is at 4,300 rupees, right? A stock, if you stop at 100 rupees, if it falls to 50 rupees, you can buy twice, right? But if you wait at 100 rupees and you don't sell, and you are waiting until it goes up to 100 rupees, then what happens? It has come down to 50 rupees. Then from 50, it has to go up another 50 rupees to give you 100 rupees, right? So basically 100% return you are waiting for to once again sell at that 100 rupees. So as a result of that, stops are very important, but the stop you have to look based on the trend analysis, the reason as to why you are buying it, whether you have a fundamental reason for it, and you look at the market and how bullish the market is, what the potential that you have for the market and stuff like that. So දැන් මේ අනිත් එක තමයි මාකට් එක 7000ට යන එක නවත්තන්න හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ දැන් තියෙන වාතාවරණය අනුව. හරි, fundamentally if you take the especially the interest rates, හරි, the game change එක තමයි interest rate එක. interest rate එක මේ ගණන් වලට තියෙන තාක්කල්, හරිද, මේක 7000ටත් උඩින් යන එක නවත්තන්න බෑ කාටවත්. නවත්තන්න පුළුවන් ඒ interest rate බස්සපු ආණ්ඩුවේ පාර්ශවයන්ට විතරයි. 7000ට යන එක නැති කරන්න පුළුවන් ඒ decision එකට වෙනසක් ඇති කෙරුවොත්. හරි, interest rates continuously වැඩි වෙන්න පටන් ගත්තොත් එහෙනම් අපේ මේ අපේක්ෂාවන් 7000ට යනවා කියන අපේක්ෂාවන් ඔක්කොම නැති වෙලා යනවා. හරි, හැබැයි මේක අපිට දැන් මේ මොනවාද අදහස් කරලා තියෙන හැටියට, the messages that we have got is that the government is committed to spur the economy with confidence. They want to build confidence into the business community, right? So if that is the case, they can borrow at lower prices, right? At lower interest rates. As a result, they can take more chances, right? They can invest more because their borrowing cost is low, So there are things that are behind this plan, right? So as long as this plan is in existence and that comes into fruition, right? They succeed in that, then that will reflect in the momentum of company performances, right? Profitability will go up, their borrowing costs will come down, that cost saving is going to directly come into the profits, all that stuff will happen. That is to do with the stop loss.
So thank you very much. I'm trying to quickly run through one more question from the MasterMind YouTube channel, and then thereafter we will give Zoom viewers a chance to ask their questions. One question we will take, one person is asking, what are your favorite technical analysis indicator combinations, and briefly explain how to use. I think you have done most of it.
Yes, basically my favorite strategy or favorite analysis is price action, right? Because I believe that in the prices and the volumes, you have a lot of stories, a lot of messages, right? So for that, you have to train yourself. That is like, you have to come from the basics to that level. right? Before that, when we started, we used to, and they are very effective, right? They are absolutely effective. And I shared that one of those setups during that COVID period when we ran through how to, handle the online trading system. Let me go to a stock and show that. This is how this is one of the basic ways of looking at the buying entries, right? Not more than the selling entries, the buy entry. You need to understand, if you follow this, then if you train yourself, you will be able to make use of it. Let's see. Access engineering. The stock that you can, whatever the stock that you want, you can have here. I'm taking access engineering. Then I'm going to use a strategy called MREV strategy. MREV. M stands for MACD, R stands for RSI, E stands for exponential moving average, V stands for volume, right? So these are the indicators. MACD, exponential, 2 indicators, right? Then RSI, then the volume. We know the volume is here. This is the volume. Now in the MACD, I normally now I'm like seasoned to do away with these two lines, the MACD line and the signal line. So I go to the settings and take those two out, MACD line and the signal line. And I keep the histogram bars only, right? Like this, histogram bars. And I quickly go to the lines, take the horizontal line and bring down to the RSI like this. And I change the color and change the value, go to the coordinates and change the value to 50. Change the value to 50. Right? In the case of the moving averages, for this trading strategy, I'm using the 5-day moving average, 5 EMA, which is the faster EMA, right? Which is called the faster EMA, which is the short-term EMA. And then the next one is the 20 EMA, 20-day moving average, like this. Let's change the color to my favorite color, black and blue and black, my favorite two colors. And it's like this, right? So the idea is this. First, the MACD bar, MACD histogram has to go above zero line. MACD, these little vertical bars, which are the histogram bars, have to be above 0, right? It has to be above 0. Then the RSI has to be above or crossed above 50 points. RSI needs to go above 50 points, right? And then the 5-day moving average crosses above the 20-day moving average, right? Now you can see that when the RSI is crossing above the 50 points, right? You can see that even the 5-day moving average has crossed above the 20-day moving average, right? And then the volume has to be higher than the average volume. So this is the day that we buy. This is the day that we buy, right? There is another extension to this. Remember, I told you like majority of times technicians allow the prices to pull back. Right? So I could have bought here. Now this is the, we have to wait until the closure of this candle, then all the entire setup is done now. And from here, I could have, averaged and initiated my buy. Thereafter, I wait for the other side of it. There, what I do is I wait for the 70, meaning the RSI 70 or the RSI to go above 70 points, right? RSI has to go above 70 points, and then it has to come down, right? Below 60. After hitting 70, it has to come down below 60. So that's basically, these are the favorite indicators I'm using other than the price action. Frequently we use the RSI, number one, the number two, MACD. Frequently we use that. And you see, once that takes place, here, you can see what has happened. Now, it went up above 70, then came down, and it is here. Right? So let's assume, even if you had bought at this high, even there, right? If you had sold here at this top, you're talking of a 27% return. Let's take both the period and the price range. At this point to the peak here, you're talking of 27% in 44 market days. Or otherwise, let's say somewhere here, and then you sell at this low level, still 21% return, right? Now, you see the what do you call, the efficiency of these strategies when you're using these moving averages. The efficiencies are, right? The efficiencies are when you are excelling or increasing your knowledge how to handle this. When I look at it, when you all look at it, you have many thought processes that are going. These are actually not, these aren't indicators that we have created. No, everybody can use them, right? You can have the reason as to why we are using many indicators is to minimize our risk, right? And when many are confirming, that is called a confluence of indicators or confluence of confirmations. Many things are confirming a certain decision. Many things are confirming it. Okay, so you need to basically understand when you're using these indicators, you have to have a plan and you have to follow that plan. You have to basically follow the plan.
Thank you, Sali. It was very useful. A lot of people, viewers are commenting very positive. Shall we open up for our Zoom viewers?
Sure.
Zoom, if anybody is interested to ask a question, you can unmute your mic and ask the question. Zoom එකේ ඉන්න කට්ටිය කවුරු හරි කැමති නම් ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහන්න unmute කරලා question එක අහන්න පුළුවන් දැන්. Do we have any questions from the audience? Zoom audience?
Hi, I'm Anurada. Can you explain how to use that Fibonacci diagram?
Okay. Let's take all these things out. Right. Now here you have the toolbar, right? In the A-Trend and also in the investing.com, the toolbar is on the left-hand corner. you go to the second tool menu where you have the pitchfork. Click on it. There are two Fibonacci tools that we are using more oftenly, right? They are the Fibonacci retracement lines and the trend-based Fibonacci extension. We frequently call it the Fibonacci extension lines. So in the case of Fibonacci retracements, right? If you go to Investopedia or many other reputed websites, right? They have guidelines to draw Fibonacci points or Fibonacci lines. Narita? So basically, this I go by those guidelines, right? I go by those guidelines, and based on those guidelines, Fibonacci extensions, when we are drawing them, we use lowest low points and highest high points. That is the principle that I am using. I identify a lowest low. Now here, this is a lowest low, and there are many highest high areas, right? So when the highest high happens, then the prices fall. The reason I'm going to connect the Fibonacci retracement lines from this lowest low to the highest high is to see up to which area the prices are going to come down, seeking support, to find support, right? In order to find support, where the prices will come down to is what I would want to look at, right? Now this is the highest high. So I will be stretching it like this. Now here you can see from, in this range, once the prices started, falling, we can see that about 38.2%, the prices came and supported. The prices got supported about 38.2%. And then it reversed, making a bullish reversal, retested the high, and then again, there was a retesting taking place to check this area. And then from there, broke out with a little bit of further retesting, and with higher low formations extended to reach the this present highest high level of 25 rupees. So that's how I make use of the Fibonacci retracement lines. And again, you can have what you can do is spot those highest lowest lows and highest highs, and you can look at you can draw those lines. This is on both occasions. I used the lowest to the high to understand the drop, right, in this uptrend. But if you basically want to analyze a downtrend, you can, and then see where it's going to kind of rally, right? When the prices are falling, we call it a pullback. When the prices are going up, it is a rally. So in this pullback, we can use the highest high to the lowest low to understand where the rally is going to take place before the next pullback, right? Now, in this, what is important to understand is that we look at the areas to which the prices are pulling back, right? It came down, it went up, rallied to beyond 78.6%. Then the retesting took place. In this retesting, you can see that it got retested mostly at 38.2% and broke above 50% line. And now we are we are above 61.2% or 61.8% area. Therefore, when there is a reversal, right, especially after a pullback, if the reversal is above 50%, then that expectation of a downtrend is taken out, right? Now, once again, that's if the trend is an uptrend, the trend has started continuing, right? So that basically these are all, you know, just a kind of, you know, I'm just scratching the surface. You have to keep on practicing and coming out with your own trade ideas by using the Fibonacci lines. Then you will be able to increase your knowledge and confidence. That's how you use the Fibonacci extension retracement. For an extension, we use 3 points. In the case of the Fibonacci retracement, we use only 2 points, lowest low and the highest high. In the case of a Fibonacci extension, we make use of the lowest low, highest high, and if it is because we are using the starting point of as lowest low, right, we take a higher low, right, lowest low, highest high, and a higher low. That is in order to find out when the prices are extending, to which level the prices can go up to, right? From here, I take this highest high to this lowest low to find out how far it can go up to. Now, what it means is that, right, when the prices, now from here it started forming higher low formations, right? It made higher lows and now moving up, right? As long as this higher low formation is in place, we have to respect the that higher angle of the movement. Angle is in an ascending formation, right? So for that we have to respect. So if that's the case, and since we have taken this range from here to here, there is a range there, right? Like this. If you take the range, you can see from here to a high of this area, right? At 25 rupees is something like this. And what it means is that when the prices start moving up, to match the range that I drew here, this is 9.55. The range from here to here is a price of 9.55 rupees. So from here to this level, for it to go up to rather from this level to go up 9.55 rupees will be almost that level, right? It has to be exactly that level, right? So what it means is that from here to here, it took such a long period to give you 9.55 rupees, right? So then we have to understand this Gyan and Udara, they are doing certain things and disturbing us. I think we kindly request not to mess around, because it distracts every one of us here. Right. So that's basically what it means by an extension. Meaning, when we draw these 3 points, we need to understand that from the last point, how the prices are going to move up, and retest that range, and thereafter whether if the prices are breaking out that range, to which levels the prices can go up, and test these numbers, right? These resistance areas. That is about Fibonacci extensions and Fibonacci trend lines, Fibonacci retracement lines.
Great, Sali. Super. Thank you very much. I think the question was answered. We are running out of time, actually. We have gone above the time also. Yes. So shall we accommodate maybe another 2 more questions from the audience? Okay. If anybody has any questions, you can unmute your mic and ask a question.
Hello, Saliya. My name is ROSHAN. I have one question.
Okay.
Basically, now when we take in these graphs, of course, we can see that there are 1 day, 7 day, 1 month, 1 year, and it goes
Yeah.
up to 10 years. So, what
Okay.
is the best I mean, the time frame and
Fine.
the candlestick patterns and that time frame also? I just want to have some
Yes.
idea about that. Thanks.
It's like this, right? You have, there are reasons to reasons for us to have different time periods, right? That's all to do with our trading styles. You see, when you have a longer time frame or a shorter time frame, remember this, right? The guideline and the rule is you need to master support and resistance. You need to master the two trends, right? And the meaning the uptrend and the downtrend based on the interpretations. You have to master that. Number two is support and resistance. You have to master. Then within these two trends, the uptrend and the downtrend, you have another trend, which is called the sideway movement, a pullback, a consolidation, a correction, all that, right? So you need to understand the intricacies behind all these things, right? Thereafter, whether it's a 1 month chart or a 1 week chart or a 1 day chart, 5-hour chart, 2-hour chart, 1 hour chart, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, those principles are applied without any change, right? In a 5-minute chart, you need to understand, you need to understand the trend, okay? Then the support and resistance areas, the trend extensions and trend reversal patterns, right? How the prices are forming. Now, the key to this is this. If you're a long-term trader, because there are people who use fundamentals to trade, they are not investors, right? The traders, which relatively are, collecting a quantity, and selling at a higher period of time. Let's say after 3 months or 6 months, right? For an example, let's say Haycab. Let's take Haycab. Now Haycab has done 57 rupees, right? And some analysts are saying they will do 100 rupees. Some are saying more than that. Some are saying below that. Now, based on your understanding, if you're confident that they are doing 100 rupees, right? Then you will give a discount to that and say 7 PE into 100 is 700 rupees. Then you're saying, okay, this can go up to 700 rupees. And then you have to maximize your profits. And then you will make use of the charts, the technical analysis to see where the pullback is taking place, right? Because at this moment you can buy, there is no doubt about it. But because your expectation is a bit longer, right? You can wait for the pullback to take place for you to initiate your buy positions. For that, you in the Sri Lankan market, you can make use of the weekly chart or the monthly chart, right? More oftenly, it's better to go for the weekly chart. In the weekly chart, you need to see that pullback in Haycab, right? And then you will evaluate the pullback, and at those reversals or at those price ranges, you will make use to initiate your buy positions. Or otherwise, once the pullback takes place, right, you will go to the shorter time periods. If you are taking the 1 week chart, right, you can take on the Access Engineering the 1 week chart. This is the 1 week chart. Now you can see in this, right? Now this is the low. So basically, let's assume that you want to buy what do you call access engineering. Now there's a huge drop in the prices. You can see that happening. Then you wait, because you are looking at the weekly chart, right? You will be waiting until the signal is given to you based on the price action, right? Once that there is a reversal, because these two candles itself gives you a lot of messages. Those are the things, as I said, you need to understand this, the support, the resistance, the trends, the patterns, meaning the trend extensions, trend reversal patterns, all that you need to understand. Based on your criteria or rules, right? You will, okay, right now the prices are going up, right? This is the weekly chart. Then to understand that the pullback, you look at the daily chart, right? So here, this is where we saw that weekly chart, right? This is that large candle, right? And then thereafter, you can see that the trend in the short term is also uptrending, and you can see that there are pullbacks over here. This could be your, let's assume that you initiate your buy. To be fair, to be a bit realistic, let's say from here to here, you watch, right? From there to there, you watch, and you initiate your buy there, right? In this area, you initiate your buy, right? There again, you will wait for the reversal if you want, or otherwise you can, because you are taking a position, you will be buying, right? This is that area. So in this area, you can see that this is the area that we are talking about, right? So you're making use of the 1 week chart to give you the trend, right? That uptrend is shown in your 1 week chart, and then you are moving into your daily chart to initiate your buy position, right? Or if, let's say, you want to do it more frequently, then you will be using the daily chart, right? Then you will be using the daily chart, and you can go to a shorter time frame to give you that trigger, right? It can be a one hour chart or maximum 2 hours, not beyond that, because our market right now is 3.5 hours old. I mean, every day we do 3.5 hours only, right? So, maximum that you will be giving is the 60-minute chart, or otherwise you can have the 30-minute chart also. Remember, this is the investing.com. This is not A-Trad. A-Trad won't give you. I don't know about DirectFN or any other platform, but since we are using the A-Trad terminal, we don't have that facility, right? So basically, you identify the trend on a longer time frame chart, and you make use of a shorter time frame chart to give you the trigger to initiate your buy and the sale, right? Then the next thing is, the more shorter it becomes, more active you have to be. So you have to understand, if you're a person who is working 9 to 5, right now, of course, you are maybe many of us, since we are working from home, maybe that we have time, but then again, your concentration has to be there if you're moving into shorter time frames, right? If the moment you lose your concentration, then you have other risk factors. Now, in the case of A-Trad, about 18 brokers are using A-Trad. We have eternal problems with that, right? So you can't basically do day trading in that. That's a risk there, right? So you need to analyze the risks. In the Sri Lankan market, first you need to analyze the risks, then the reward, rather than looking at the reward and then the risks, right? So that's how you take the trigger, or you identify the trend from the longer time frame and come to the shorter time frame to identify your the triggers, That is how you use the longer time frame charts and the shorter time frame charts.
Thank you, sir. Shall we take one more question from the audience?
Okay.
One more question.
Hi, Mr. Saliya.
Yes.
Some people are using exponential moving average 200.
Okay.
So they said it is long-term trend. So can you explain
Yes.
that one little?
Okay. There again, now this is an extension from that longer time frame to the shorter time frame, right? Now we were looking at the monthly chart, not the monthly chart, the weekly chart, then the daily chart, then the 1 hour chart, 30 minutes chart, right? Similarly, in one time frame, you can look at the longer averages or an average of a longer period and an average of a shorter period, right? These moving averages are averages, no, meaning you jumble up or you bundle up a certain number of days prices, the price data, and you arrive at an average price, right? So having averages are very important. You see, because when the prices are going up above those average levels, right, the risk is high. When it is coming towards the average, which is known as coming back to the mean, right? When it is coming to the average levels, right, you're buying on a smoother price rather than an erratic price, right? So that's all to do with the risk and the reward analysis, right? So when it now the moving averages we use for two reasons. One, as a trigger to buy or sell, right? Like I showed a little while ago about that MREV strategy, where I was using two EMA average periods, 5 and 20, right? That is for the trigger. Then at the same time, that's why I said, you have to master those trading strategies, because you can use the moving averages as support and resistance areas, right? If you take the, now by default, the EMA moving average, by default, the EMA is 9, right? If you take this 9-day moving average, you can see even when the prices are like touching the moving average, that means it's trading within that mean, within the average, right? Here you don't see any kind of, any, drastic higher or lower movements. You don't see that, right? But at the same time, if you take the price ranges, it's a different story. From this average over here, maybe about 23 rupees, right? And if you take this, which is at 24 rupees, there is a big difference, right? So especially when these price ranges are narrow and within the averages, that's where the support is, right? Not these larger ranged candles. These very small, narrow range candles are the ones which are giving you the support. Now you can see here also, the prices are range bounding here. 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 days, it was just going sideways and along the averages as well, right? So that for support and resistance analysis also, you are using the average. That's why we make use of the 200-day and the 50-day moving averages, and that is popularly known as the golden average. But anytime you are making use of a shorter time frame moving average and a longer time frame moving average, and you see the shorter time frame moving average crossing the longer time frame moving average, it is called a golden cross. But we in the the most famous and the popularly accepted golden ratio is the 50-day moving average crossing above the 200-day moving average, or the other way. The 50-day crossing below the 200-day are called golden ratios. And that is, I think I have one of those charts here. When we are doing our, company used to put this chart, right? You can see in this chart, we have the two crosses. This is widely circulated now, Here you can see the crosses, right? Now this black, the blue and black averages are the simple moving averages. The green and the red, averages are the what do you call the EMA averages, right? If you take the EMA averages, short, let's take red there, and let's color this with darker green. Now you can see this EMA, the shorter time frame, that is the 50-day exponential moving average, has cut above the 200-day moving average on the 2nd of October, right? But the simple moving average, the same cross took place on the 16th of October. That's the difference between the exponential moving average and the simple moving average. The exponential moving average gives you a faster signal than the simple moving average, right? So some used to make use of the exponential moving averages, like me. I'm used to doing that. Some are using the simple moving averages. Some are using that weighted moving average. And there are so many types of averages. You can make use of all of them. But as long as you make use of them and put them into practice and create, increase your confidence, that's the idea. Just having many averages putting in over here doesn't make any sense if you don't make use of them properly.
Thank you, Saliya. I think we have actually ran out of time. So if you have any questions, let's see whether we have time. We will try to take one more if possible. So anyway, we want to thank all of you all for joining, and especially getting Saliya to this program was a great honor for us, because a lot of people had asked technical analysis again. So having Saliya today in our program is a great honor for us. And I had worked with Saliya as a colleague long time back, I think before the war ended. So he also, at that time also, he was always talking about technical analysis. So that also remembered me to contact Saliya, and our relationship is very gone long, and he's always in this technical analysis. So it's a great pleasure to have you on our program, Saliya. Thank you very much for Saliya.
Right.
Then,
very good.
And in addition, this is hosted through MasterMind YouTube channel as well. So there was a lot of comments, but we could not answer. මේකක්ම අපිට උත්තර දෙන්න බැරි වුණා. මොකද ප්‍රශ්න ගොඩක් එළ තිබ්බා. ඊට අමතරව අපිට ඕන වුණා මිස්ටර් සාලියට ගොඩක් ටයිම් එක දෙන්න to teach you all how to do it. ඉතින් මම හිතන්නේ ඒක ප්‍රයෝජනවත් වුණා. ඊට පස්සේ e-learning.lk platform එක through තමයි we are hosting this webinar. So we should thank them as well. And over the Israhat, if you want to get connected with us, I also dropped details there on WhatsApp, and also if you are like to join to the MasterMind YouTube channel, you all are welcome to join. But mainly, as Mr. Saliya said, get the technical analysis absorbed into yourself. And the final message that we also would like to give from overall this program is looking into fundamental analysis and the technical analysis. And if you buy the proper share at the proper price, you will not go wrong. Isn't it, Saliya? What do you?
Exactly. Definitely.
So from the audience, if you have anybody to give a closing remark, whether you all learned something, ඔයගොල්ලෝ යම්කිසි දෙයක් ඉගෙන ගත්තද නැත්නම් තව මොකක් හරි ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ මොකක් හරි තියෙනවා නම් අපිට යෝජනා මොකක් හරි තියෙනවා නම් if you all like කැමති නම් unmute කරලා එක්කෙනෙක් කතා කරන්න කැමති නම් if anybody likes just unmute and ask give a comment.
වැඩසටහන ගොඩාක් හොඳයි. කාලය තමා මේ ප්‍රශ්නකට උනේ. කියන්නේ තව ටිකක් විස්තර කරන්න පුළුවන් වුණා නම් හොඳයි.
thank you. මම හිතන්නේ ටයිම් එක වෙලා තියෙන අපි පැයකට සීමා කරේ. දැන් තව පැය භාගයකට වැඩින් අපි බලමු තව ඉදිරියේදී යම්කිසි පුළුවන් වෙලාවක පොද සාලියව ඩිස්ටර්බ් කරන්න බෑ. සාලිය අධික කාර්යබහුල පුද්ගලයෙක්. ඉතින් මේ so we will see in the future, maybe in a few weeks time අපි අර ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ අපිට යොමු කරලා තියන්න. then we can answer those questions. එතකොට මේ එහෙම කරොත් හොඳයි කියලා මට හිතෙනවා. so thank you very much for the comment. Any closing remarks, Saliya, you want to add?
Closing remarks means I must thank you also giving me the opportunity. And I, these days I really like to educate and interact with as much as possible regarding this technical analysis and the effectiveness of it and all. And I really appreciate the interest. කැමැත්ත ප්‍රකාශ කිරීම ගොඩක් මට තේරෙනවා. ගොඩක් clientsලා දැන් මේ තමන් දැනුවත් වෙලා තමයි ආයෝජනයයි වෙළඳාම් කටයුතු කරන්නේ. ඒක ගොඩාරියක් හොඳ දෙයක්. තමන්ගේ විශ්ලේෂණ කටයුතු කරගන්න එක, doing your own trade setups, looking at collecting all the data and having your own plan, that is the most important thing. එහෙම කෙරුවොත් කවමදාකවත් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට වරදින්නේ නැහැ. පොඩි දෙයක් මම කියනවා, ධම්මික පෙරේරා ලංකාවේ කෝටිපතිය වෙලා තියෙන්නේ කොටස් වෙළඳ පොලෙන්. ඒ කොටසම වැලිබල් 1 වෙන්න පුළුවන්, සම්පත් බැංක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, රොයල් සෙරමික්ස් එක ෂෙයායක ගන්නෙත් අපිම වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හරි, මං කියන්නේ නෑ ධම්මික පෙරේරාම වෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා. ඒත් අපේ මොනවාද the precious money that we have, we can increase with proper mindset, with proper approach. So that I wish all of you to have that, right? Get educated and then put that into practice. And I thank Roshan and also the other friend who is assisting us. And it's an honor to participate to this presentation as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And the positive side, we had more than 100 viewers in Zoom, and on YouTube there was more than 150. So altogether, about 250 plus viewers were watching this, Saliya. Amazing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, we
that
just
shows
had
how interesting they are.
yeah, just a casual phone call we had, and we were able to get 250 plus viewers. We just did a casual thing. I think when we අපි මොකක් හරි හොඳ දෙයක් කරන්න හැදුවොත් මම හිතන්නේ මේ මිනිස්සු අපිට වටා රොක් වෙනවා කියන එකට හොඳ උදාහරණයක්. So thank you very much everybody. So have a happy and successful trading week. All the best.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
See
very
you
much.
all the best.
See you.
Thank you very much for all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
බොහොම ස්තුතියි ඔයාලගේ කාලයට.
Thank you very much, both of you. Great session.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you, Saliya. Thank you, Rohan.